Welcome into the State of Sports podcast. We got the normal crew today. We got Stash Cuddy, aka Nick. How's your day going today?
Pretty good, man. How's yours?
Not too bad. And we got the big dog Morgan. How you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
I see you got that Aaron Rodgers shirt on.
Good.
Yeah, he's doing pretty good.
I got him behind me too.
Look at Green Bay's GOAT in my opinion. Shout out John Smith because Rodgers is better than Favre. But we're recording this on July 29th. It is a Thursday. We'll be putting this out Monday morning. I don't know what the date is off the top of my head because I haven't looked at it. Second, I think.
Second or third, somewhere.
August 2nd. So that's when you'll be hearing this. The debate today is going to be Steve Smith, the wide receiver for the Carolina Panthers and Baltimore Ravens, versus Andre Johnson, Houston Texans. Both guys have similar stats. But before we get into that, we got to kind of lead with the biggest story in sports right now with Simone Biles pulling out of the Olympics due to the twisties is the term for gymnasts that they use. How do you guys feel about it?
That was for her pulling out of the individuals, right?
I think that was everything. She pulled out a team. Yeah,
the group was mental illness.
Well, I think it's kind of lumped together. Yeah. So.
I mean, it sucks for the world of gymnastics because she's probably the greatest gymnast we've ever seen.
She's not probably. She is.
Yeah, she's the best.
Men or women's. I think she's far and away the best.
If you have names of moves named after you because nobody else on planet fucking Earth can do them, you're the greatest.
If you can show up to the Olympics in a leotard with goats on it and nobody talks shit about you, you're the best.
Yeah, 100%. Like at that point, everybody, if she's competing, is playing for silver. It's like Larry Bird walking in a three-point contest.
Who's coming in second? Won just about every competition for the last 7 years.
Yeah.
I mean, she's been absolutely dominant. I mean, sucks she wasn't able to keep pushing through it because she's been dealing with it for a couple of years now, really.
Yeah. A big part of that, too, which I heard on a different podcast, is she's the last survivor of Larry Nassib, the guy who sexually assaulted all of the gymnasts for the United States.
Yeah.
And I think someone said that's part of what's going on with her is,
I wouldn't doubt it.
Yeah, it's fucking
it's awful. She's been battling injuries for years. She's just the weight of the American gymnast is on her shoulders.
Yeah, these girls are like fucking put into like they're homeschooled from like 8 years old on. Like it's gross.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's how shit like Larry Nassib or Nassib.
Yeah. However it's pronounced. Fuck that guy.
Yeah. I don't even want to pronounce his name right.
Yeah. We don't have to bring him up again, but he's a total piece of dog shit.
Dick bag.
I mean, it's just that's a lot to carry on your shoulders.
Yeah.
Probably one of the face of American sports, not just women's.
Yeah, for sure.
She's one of the most household names. She's in commercials. She's
everywhere.
Got tons of sponsorships. She's just got all kinds of pressure. And she's only 24.
I know, it's crazy. Like she's at the end of her career for gymnastics, but like fuck it, man. Like if you want to like take this time off and you want to come back 4 years or 3 years from now for the next Olympics, like fuck it. Like do it. She's that good. Like
didn't I just see this Olympics? I think the oldest active Olympian ever this year is 47, I think.
Yes, I think you're right. Yeah.
That's nuts.
It is. Caitlin was talking about the softball team. I'm going to forget who the pitcher is, but she's the lefty. She's in her late 30s, and she was on the USA softball team.
They took silver?
They took silver. Yeah, Japan beat them 2-0.
Yeah.
Little softball talk for you right there. You know what's shitty about that, by the way? Really quick. Dude, they were playing on a fucking baseball field. They couldn't even, like, make a normal softball field for them.
No.
Like, they're friggin' baseball is not even happening in this Olympics. Like, you can't. Oh, no, it is. It is. Sorry.
It is. I think they're doing both.
They are. But, like, you can't even make a normal softball field. It's kind of dirtbag-ish.
Well,
yeah.
Hey, don't say anything. The Women's College Softball World Series brought in more viewers than the men's. So, softball at a high level is legit to watch. It is fun.
They are very good.
But
I'd rather watch women's softball.
What?
I said I'd rather watch women's softball.
Oh, okay. I thought you said dodgeball for a second. I was like, dodgeball should be an Olympic sport.
Yeah, it should.
I mean, that's basically handball.
Foursquare.
Yeah, we're getting to the point really quick that like I want America to like continue its dominance in the Olympics. We got to add American football. I want it. I need it.
Who would they face though?
We won the last game by
Who gives a
60
shit?
medals.
Who would is it prominent enough in other countries that they would have full
Yeah,
teams?
like Europe has like players that like play American football. Dude, there's kids from UMaine that were like from Germany, for Christ's sakes. Canada has like its own football.
Is it prominent enough though in those countries to train people year round to play in the Olympics?
No. Yeah.
You don't think they would just play rugby or some shit instead?
Make it prominent
Matt just
enough.
wants another gold because the NBA team, the USA team, sucks.
I saw a tweet that said if the USA men's team doesn't win gold for basketball, don't let them back in the US.
I agree.
Do you think? I think Luke is going to torch them.
I fucking hope so.
He is a demon in these Olympics.
King Luka.
Yeah. He's friggin' going off.
48 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists in his first
Olympic game.
appearance.
No big deal.
Just a sample.
Yeah, easy. But back to the main topic. I hope Simone Biles takes care of her mentals. I hope she figures it out. Like all these fucking, I don't even know what to call these people behind their Twitter fingers that are saying that she's not American for competing.
Trolls.
Not a good teammate. You know, she pulled out for you know, her issues and was still a good enough teammate to show up and cheer on her team. Like
her teammate won gold today in the individual.
Plus, you got to think if she's like on top of just the fact that she could probably fucking hurt herself if she's not mentally stable out there. Yeah, but if she's not in the right state of mind to be able to perform at the peak of her powers, I'll call them powers because they are.
Yeah.
She backed out. She probably helped her team. She might not have been able to perform. It might have hurt them. So
yeah, and
I think a big part with her backing out is not having fans, especially in a sports like gymnastics where you feed off the energy and you feed off the energy. Like,
yeah, it's different this year.
That's a big thing with gymnasts is feeding off the crowds and the energy and the atmosphere going on.
Yeah, we touched on that before, I think.
And I'm sure in a quiet arena, you're thinking about everything much more than people yelling and screaming around you.
Those fans might drown out some of that pain that's in there somewhere.
Just thoughts, like
like what happens if I don't land this? Like, do I break my neck? Like
instead of she's thinking, oh, I got to put on a show for the fans instead of, I got to land this. Like,
I am happy for her that she made what she feels as though is the correct decision.
Her best decision,
Correct. Yeah. So moving on.
Maybe she'll be back. Maybe she won't. But
still the GOAT. No one's gonna top her for gymnasts. So
100%.
Don't even try it. They like literally tell people before we get out of here on Simone. They literally tell people don't try those moves because you literally may paralyze yourself. Like
they just have a disclaimer like they do in Red Bull commercials. Do not try this at home. It does not give you fucking wings.
Yeah, for real. It's like, dude, do not try that. So we're doing Steve Smith versus Andre Johnson today. I got the side of Andre Johnson. Morgan's got Steve Smith. I like both of these receivers. Nick's going to be moderating. So Nick, you take the show, man.
Yeah. Steve Smith, Carolina Panthers, Ravens, Andre Johnson, Texans, Colts, Titans. I already picked a winner, so try to convince me otherwise.
All right.
So who's the picked winner?
No, I can't tell you that.
Oh no. I mean,
gotta know what we're going up against here.
Yeah, for real. Like I could have to take this personally, and I could bring out a better argument if I know you already picked Steve Smith.
Don't worry about it. I'm gonna write it down right now, and at the end I'll hold it up.
All right, fair. Who wants to go first? Me or you, Morgan?
I'll take the floor.
All right, go ahead.
All right, so the man, aged 89, Steve Smith Sr.
Legend.
Well, I see, and this is a hard one for me because I like Andre Johnson too.
This is hard for me. Whoever wins this debate, like, I don't care because I like both these guys.
But Andre Johnson, 5'9" as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Starting right there, he kind of opened the door with how good he was for guys like Wes Welker and Edelman and all the short receivers that have come after him.
He was a deep ball guy too.
Like, he was an everything ball.
Yeah, like
he could do everything. He could burn you, and I think he's more known for just stiff arming guys to the ground. Like he's one of those receivers that you cannot think you're getting him down with an arm tackle.
No.
Like until you hear that whistle, you got to keep bringing him down because there's highlights. I don't know who they were playing.
I think
he stiff armed one dude. He had 4 guys on his back on the Texans, spun out of it, and ran in for a touchdown. Like the dude is just so strong.
I think this goes for both receivers. You're not bringing either of these guys down with an arm.
No, they're some of the most physical receivers. I mean, he had 1,031 catches, which is 12th all time, 14,731 receiving yards, which is 7th all time, averaged 14.3 yards per reception, 81 total touchdowns in his career, a 5-time Pro Bowler, a 2-time All-Pro. And
you got to cut you off, Morgan. How many times Pro Bowl?
Well, I think it was 5-time.
Goddamn right.
He also came back off a broken ankle with 8 screws in his ankle to win the Comeback Player of the Year in 2005, which he completed the receiver triple crown of leading the league in receptions, yards, and touchdowns off a broken ankle.
An absolute fucking dog.
He was a dog. He also was a great returner.
He loved to punch his teammates in the face too.
Well,
I think that's a positive thing. It's not negative.
When you have Jake Delhomme as a quarterback, I want to punch him in the
we
face
want to talk
too.
about these guys as quarterbacks.
You had David Carr.
Let me begin.
On to the opening argument.
I mean, he's Panthers all-time leader in touchdowns, receptions, and yards. He is 7th in all-purpose yards in NFL history with 19,180.
Damn.
And he's probably one of the all-time playoff receivers when he's in there.
Yeah.
He's got some crazy playoff stats.
Yep.
That I'll save for later.
I would like to get into those later. All right, Matt.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing I'll say for Andre Johnson. He played for the Houston Texans, which is a dog shit of a franchise as you're seeing unfold in front of you today. So he didn't get too much playoff time. But let's talk about this man amongst, or I should say, beastly animals amongst men on a football field. 6'2", 230, 4.39 40-yard dash, 4.10 20-yard shuttle, 39-inch vertical minimum. Guy was an absolute fucking freak. Receptions, 1,062. Receiving yards, a little more than Steve Smith, but these guys, honestly, with these stats kind of trade off with each other. 14,185 receptions, average per reception, 13.4. Receiving touchdowns, 70. So Steve Smith's got him there, which, I think with both these guys as quarterbacks throughout time is just, it's atrocious. It's actually incredible that these guys put up these numbers with how bad these quarterbacks
It really is.
Andre Johnson, a 3-time first-team All-Pro, 2-time second-team All-Pro, 7-time Pro Bowler, 2-time NFL receptions leader, 2-time NFL receiving yards leader, Houston Texans Ring of Honor, and then I do have some college stuff about him that I'll get back into. This dude does hold a wild amount of NFL records that you won't know about that I'm going to hold off on. So we'll save that for later because I know Morgan's going to have his, playoff stats with Steve Smith. My big thing with Andre Johnson is when he beat the shit out of Cortland Finnegan. I don't know if everybody's familiar with that play. If you're not, go look it up. He literally, the story behind it is Andre Johnson went out to the field and he looked at one of his teammates and goes, I'm going to beat the shit out of him this play. And next thing the guy knew is when he looked over, Andre Johnson was ripping off Cortland Finnegan's helmet and punching him in the fucking face. Awesome.
So you're condoning fighting on a football field?
On a football field, yes. Back when the NFL was physical, and yeah, I condone it. We're talking, and you're going to say anything, Steve Smith literally beats up his teammates, not even an opponent, a teammate in practice. Didn't he break the dude's jaw?
Something like that.
Yeah, he's got to sit here and tell me. So yeah, we can. That's why I'll leave my opening argument.
All right. Good opening arguments. So I want to get into those playoff numbers. Granted, Matt, you said he doesn't have many, but Morgan, I would like to hear what he was able to accomplish in the postseason.
So Steve Smith in the playoffs, he played 11 total games. He had 59 receptions, 1,001 yards, 9 touchdowns, 7 receiving, 1 rushing, and 1 punt return.
Unbelievable.
More impressively, probably his 2 best games of his career were in the playoffs. In the 2004 divisional round game, in a double overtime game, he had 6 catches for 163 yards and a touchdown, and he caught the game-winning touchdown to end the game. in double overtime to send him to the NFC Championship game.
That's pretty good.
2 years later, off that broken ankle, that same season, he had 12 catches for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns. Jake Delhomme only threw for 314 yards that game.
Pretty
so over two-thirds of the yards were from Steve Smith. Dude's an animal.
Yes, Andre Johnson also does have some interesting playoff numbers I think you guys would like. In 2011, both, by the way, Houston has always been one and done in the playoffs. 2011, the one game he plays in the playoff, he had 24 targets. He caught 13 of them for 201 yards and a touchdown. He's literally the one guy on that team back then because they didn't have D-Hop at that point. They did. I don't think they did.
No.
And then in 2012, the following year, 12 receptions, 157 yards, 13.1 average per catch. The reason they lost was not because of him.
Clearly.
It's hard to blame a receiver for losing a game.
Yeah, that guy showed up and this is at the age 30 and 31. So this is like past his physical prime. And he's still putting up these numbers.
Yeah, that's impressive for that age.
I think one of the funnest things with Steve Smith is his first career touch in the NFL. He returned a 93-yard kickoff for a touchdown.
I was going to say he brought back a kick return for a TD.
That's a pretty good entrance.
First touch in the NFL.
Yeah.
He also had a fire quote about Aqib Talib when they were going back and forth, and they asked him about, what'd you like about Aqib Talib today? He's like, he didn't finish the game. Ice up, young man.
Yeah, he said ice up. I remember that.
It was so funny.
Steve Smith is one of the best shit talkers of all time.
Oh my God, he's great.
So you guys brought up them fighting people.
Uh-huh.
Is there any positive memory that sticks out in your mind about these players? What's the go-to? Like, what do you think is their best highlight?
Oof. Matt's going to say that fight. Matt wants to say the fight.
It's sad that I'm going to say the fight, but like Andre Johnson's greatest game of all time was in 2012. Again, he's the age 31. He had 14 receptions, 273 yards, and the 48-yard touchdown in overtime to win the game. That is his best game by far. But for me, my personal highlight is him beating the shit out of Cortland Finnegan.
Because nobody liked Cortland Finnegan.
Nobody liked Cortland Finnegan.
I mean, Steve Smith, I'd probably say the Super Bowl, just because it's the Super Bowl. He had 4 catches, 80 yards, and a touchdown against the Patriots. Patriots did, but it's that or him. He had quite a few Moss catches where he just jumped over dudes and grabbed the ball. He had one on Sean Taylor. He had one in the end zone.
R.I.P.
Yeah. But it's him stiff arming dudes to the ground. Like,
yeah, I mean,
he put him like Derrick Henry. He put him in the ground like that.
All right, let's not go too far.
Some of them are.
Andre Johnson was just a physical freak. You couldn't bring him down with one player.
Steve Smith's the same physical freak at 5'9".
That is true. He's a lot shorter.
He's way shorter, and he had the same 40. He had a 4.39 in the combine.
Well, that's good because he's shorter, so I hope he has a faster 40. That's the only way he's playing in the NFL.
All right.
He doesn't have more yards.
No, Steve Smith does.
Steve Smith does? What does he have?
More yards. He's got 14,731.
Oh, I thought you said 13. My fault.
No.
So Andre Johnson, though, has these records that I do not believe Steve Smith has. And these are NFL records, not just Houston Texan records. He's the only player in NFL history with 60-plus receptions in his first 8 years. So that means this dude came in as a rookie and put up over 60 catches. He has the most games with 10-plus receptions in a season, 7, tied with Wes Welker and Brandon Marshall. Most seasons with 100-plus receptions, which is absurd, with 5, tied with Wes Welker. And, these are, receivers all time that we're talking about that he has these records over. Everybody's famed Jerry Rice, who don't get me started on Jerry, but Randy Moss, Chris Carter, Terrell Owens, you want to go down the list, Steve Smith, not up there. Most seasons with 100-plus receptions and over 1,400 yards. He has 4 of those. This dude was just putting up numbers with no fucking quarterbacks. And he has the most games with 10-plus receptions. So this dude was a freak target, caught everything thrown towards him. And I mean, these records speak for themselves. I don't know what records, Steve Smith has in NFL lore, but Andre Johnson has quite a few.
Morgan, any records?
NFL, no, but he does have 8 1,000-yard receiving seasons, which Andre Johnson only has 7.
Cool.
He's 9th in all-purpose because he returned kicks and punts and stuff.
Those records are pretty overwhelming.
It's a lot. Yeah.
Let me ask then. All those records, obviously, Andre Johnson is a fucking freak.
Yeah.
He was on the Texans, I see, for a while.
He was.
Why never leave?
It was back at a time where it was frowned upon if you were to leave a franchise.
Yeah.
I think that goes for Steve Smith too, like with Carolina. He left towards the end. It was still,
they cut him.
They cut him, yeah, because of
released him.
Because of the whole Cam thing, if I remember correctly.
Yeah.
Which, that Andre Johnson never had that issue with the Texans. Andre Johnson wasn't a cancer to the locker room. He was a dude that was just going to show up and in 4 of his years give you 100+ catches and 1,400 receiving yards. He just went out there and did his job. He was a quiet man, but he was a dominant man.
Silence is golden.
And I mean, we want to get into college stuff too. Like Andre Johnson's a national champion in the Rose Bowl in 2002. He's co-MVP of the Rose Bowl with the quarterback. Like if you look up his stats from that game, most of the quarterback's receiving or throwing yards is to Andre Johnson. He was the number 3. He was the number 3 pick. He also won, I believe, the Big East championship in 2002 for the 60-yard dash and the 100-yard dash in track and field. This is a fucking NFL receiver that's winning track contests.
What school was he on?
The U.
And how many of his other teammates went on to make the NFL?
Listen, just because Andre Johnson was good enough coming out of high school to get on the U and Steve Smith had to go to community college.
You know who he went to community college with?
Where'd he go?
Chad Johnson.
Ochocinco.
and their coach told him not to celebrate after they scored touchdowns.
Come on. You go tell Chad not to celebrate? Come on now.
Or Steve. Steve's had some awesome ones too. No, man, him scoring a touchdown and wiping the football.
Steve Smith has my favorite receiving touchdown celebration of all time. I'll give him this. He sat on the ground and pretended he had a rowboat with the ball. He sat on the ground and was like going down. I was like, that's an all-time celebration. But go ahead, Nick. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
When did you say you got picked?
He got picked number 3 overall.
Number 3, and what was Steve Smith?
3rd round.
Yeah, 3rd round.
3rd round. So Steve Smith kind of surpassed expectations.
For sure.
Yeah, he was definitely more of an underdog coming out of college because he got hurt, I think, his sophomore junior
at Utah.
Season.
At Utah, yeah.
Under Urban.
Take out the obviously lack of championships for both of these guys. Do you think Andre Johnson lives up to a 3rd round pick?
Our 1st round, 3rd overall pick.
3rd overall pick. I'm sorry.
Yeah, look at his NFL records. It's simple. He is what if you look at the receivers like all time, there's very few receivers that get drafted in the top 5 that actually produce like what they're supposed to. Off the top of my head, I can think of Andre Johnson and Calvin Johnson. And anybody else, we can go down a list of bus,
Yeah.
Do you guys either of you guys have what in your mind would have been a dream team for them to have joined to be more successful?
You put Andre Johnson on the Patriots, that span where they don't win championships, they win championships. That decade that went from Brady's 3rd one to his 4th one, you put Andre Johnson in that time with the way it lines up, they are running up championships.
I really just think it's putting them with a stable quarterback.
Yep.
Yeah.
It comes to, I think it's simple as that. Just because, I mean, how many quarterbacks did Andre Johnson go through?
Jake DeLobe was stable. Come on, Morgan.
For 2 seasons.
I mean, I definitely think Steve Smith had a more stable time at quarterback than Andre Johnson did.
He probably had a more stable team because he had a decent run game with D'Angelo Williams and
Jonathan Stewart. Yeah,
that one. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean he definitely had decent teams around him.
He did, and Andre Johnson didn't. And that's what's most impressive about his numbers.
It was him and Arian Foster when he got there.
Arian Foster, shout out Arian Foster. He's super fun to listen to on macrodosing.
Very fun.
Still able to achieve all these things, all these personal stats with surrounded by shit.
Yeah,
is Super impressive. Either of these guys do anything of note off the field?
Oh, let me begin
time.
on Andre Johnson. Actually, Morgan, you can go ahead. You can go first with Steve Smith.
So Steve Smith, his two big notable ones, he wants to give out 500,000 pairs of shoes to homeless people. And before every road game, he started donating shoes to the homeless before each game. He would also wash their feet for him.
Him personally?
Him and his family. He also ended up anonymously, it came out later that it was him, but he paid for a student's full-time college tuition at Ohio State all 4 years, which is
Nice.
about $40,000 a year. So those are probably two most notable things. When I just think washing homeless people's feet to put shoes on them is a wildly amazing thing to do.
Steve Smith, give him back.
Yeah, we both of these guys definitely give back.
I mean, yeah.
So in 2003, Andre Johnson's rookie season in the NFL. So as a rookie coming into the NFL, he founded the Andre Johnson Foundation for children and teens growing up in single-parent households. In 2012, there's a viral photo of him that he spent $19,000 at Toys R Us for kids and child protective services 8 through 16. The receipt is about as tall as he is, which is 6'2". And there's two of them, and he's holding them like this.
We all know how expensive Toys R Us was.
Correct. Andre Johnson, this wasn't the first year he's done this. This was just the first year somebody took a photo of it.
Yeah.
He's been doing this for his rookie season all the way up until now, I believe. He also has a program in his foundation called Blue Santa Program. He surprises 800 students at an elementary school in Houston with Christmas presents. Like the guy, both these guys give back to,
they're both outstanding human beings.
Yeah.
Pretty good dudes, other than the fact they like to fist fight people.
Hey, you talk shit.
Everybody's got their flaws.
you
talk shit, get hit.
Yeah, you get punched in the mouth.
But listen, they talk shit, but they back their shit up.
Yeah,
sure do. And
100%.
then they go apologize for it by giving out free shit to homeless people.
Yeah,
or kids
Children.
in protective custody. Both.
Perfectly balanced, like all things should be.
Exactly.
All right. When it comes down to it, obviously, there probably would be a real answer, but who do you find to be more memorable in the league overall?
I'd probably say, I know it's me, but I'm on Steve Smith. It's just barely. I think they're very close. 16 seasons Steve Smith played for, but he was good when he went to the Ravens. He brought the leadership to that team that they needed to eventually go on and make the Super Bowl.
Just missed that.
I have to say it's Andre Johnson because one guy shows up in the NFL record books and another guy doesn't.
I mean, one guy's big time in the playoffs. Known his big games are the playoffs.
Did you hear my Andre Johnson playoff stats?
Would you rather have all those records or some playoff runs?
I'd rather have a Super Bowl.
I'd rather have all those. I'd rather have all those records with no Super Bowl.
I'd rather get to the Super Bowl and experience that atmosphere.
Yeah, you can go and lose. At least I'm chilling in Cabo.
Oh, sorry, he lost to Tom Brady, who's got 7 of them.
Hey, it's Tom freaking Brady. Okay.
You know what the score of that game was?
It was close. Field goal.
20-17, 24-20.
Is that still during the Adam Vinatieri years?
Yeah, sure it was.
Yeah, Vinatieri had a game winner. It was 24-21. That's what it was. Because Vinatieri had a game winner or go ahead.
We watched that at your mom's house in the living room. I'll never forget it.
If I remember correctly, wasn't there a fucking insane pass that game on the Panthers?
Probably. Oh yeah, I think Musa Muhammad caught a deep ball.
Mushin Muhammad.
Yeah,
that's a name for you.
Once again, though, in that aspect is Steve Smith had somebody on the other side of him for a portion of his career.
Come on, Mushin.
He was
good. He was
compared to the dog shit that played with Andre Johnson. Come on.
Who's the most notable person that played with Andre Johnson?
Arian Foster, who's a running back. And I mean J.J. Watt at the end of his career, but he plays fucking defense.
So yeah, both not blessed with great talent around them.
Not at all.
All right, so you guys have anything else that would spice up your argument a little bit in your favor? Or are we just about done? Closing arguments?
I think you heard the closing arguments.
Yeah, I mean it's Yeah, I don't have really much else to touch on.
Much else?
Cover.
What about some else? Do you have anything at all?
I mean, just other than his big regular season best game outside of the playoffs, he had a 14 catch for 273, and he caught the game-winning touchdown.
For
Pretty nice.
273?
Yeah.
Wait. 14 catch, 273?
Or is that Andre?
That's Andre.
Okay. Then no.
Yeah. Andre Johnson had the 14 catch, 273 for the game winner in overtime.
I was on the
48-yarder.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think the main argument for me at this point is one guy is literally in the record books and will always probably be in the record books. With that stat of only player in NFL history with 60 receptions in his first 8 seasons, that's absurd. Guy came into the league as the number 3 overall pick and just produced every single year. And I think the only reason that stat stopped is because he got hurt one year. And then he came back and was an all-pro for the next couple of years after that. So, I mean, I don't know how many all-pro Steve Smith has, but I know it's not as many as Andre Johnson.
He has 2.
Yeah. Andre Johnson has 3 more than that. And were any of those first team?
Yeah, they were both first team.
Both first team. Andre Johnson has 1 more first team and 2 second teams over him, too.
Yeah.
Also got more Pro Bowls. 7-time Pro Bowler.
Gotta love the Pro Bowl.
Got to.
I mean, when it comes to Steve, he gets in the end zone more. And how many guys can you name that scored a game-winning touchdown in the playoffs?
Terrell Owens.
Oh, so what? The second greatest receiver of all time?
To me, yeah, but not to most people.
And I mean, it was a double overtime game. First play of double overtime, breaks it for 70 yards.
Yeah, I mean, that's awesome, but it's the same thing for both these guys. They have 0 fucking rings. So
it's also, 0.
Anything about like playoff talk, kind of like both these guys like performed in their opportunities in the playoffs. But at the end of the day, football, the reason guys are going to get into the Hall of Fame and why Andre Johnson's going to get into the Hall of Fame is regular season numbers. And that's what he put up.
I'm also seeing that Andre Johnson played less games. 193 to Steve Smith's 219.
So you give Andre Johnson those additional games, he passes Steve Smith in almost every category, maybe not touchdowns.
He'll probably definitely pass him in yards.
And yeah, I think he has more receptions, or
he has more receptions, 1,062,
and less games too. Like
his Steve Smith's 1,031.
Yeah,
but the only thing that Steve Smith's got like record wise, I guess, is that receiver triple crown. Yeah. The only other 2 receivers that have done that are Sterling Sharp and Jerry Rice.
And the comeback player of the year.
And the comeback player of the year, which was that season.
All right.
So I think
I've heard.
Yeah, well, I got a BCS national championship, so he is the champion.
I've heard enough. I've come up with a winner. It was predetermined, but for the reasons that it was determined were pretty much the reasons that were said. I'm going with Matt. It's Andre Johnson. I wrote it there at the top. And when I was researching stuff to ask you guys and everything, just the overwhelming records.
Yeah. He definitely has the NFL records.
It's tough to go the Steve Smith route. Granted, yeah, he had some postseason games and stuff like that, but just the records are overwhelming in his favor.
Yeah.
I agree.
So I give it to Matt.
Oh, thank you.
That's fair. It's a good argument.
It was.
It was a good one. Both. It's a good battle.
Either way, it went.
You came out swinging. It was good.
You were leaning heavy on the playoff stuff, and I had to nix that. You know, I had to get it out of here. So I did say last episode we weren't going to do a weekly wrap up. We're going to do a mini weekly wrap up here on Thursday. We're going to start off with the MLB trading deadline. As it is Thursday, we had Joey Gallo get traded to the Yankees so he can strike out some more. And the Yankees will not make the wild card. But, Nick, why don't you give us some predictions of what you think could happen to the trade deadline, some couple of names. The show's yours.
Yeah, well, I want to touch on Joey Gallo. They made out pretty well in that trade. I think the Yankees got the Rangers got some prospects.
Yeah,
they didn't
the Yankees depleted their farm system. Because I saw the meme.
They didn't have a strong farm system, though. They really only had 2 guys that are.
I got to look something up while you guys continue to talk. I apologize.
Yeah, I think that race right now is so tight.
Yeah.
the Yankees kind of did the Red Sox a favor the other night. But yeah, Joey Gallo. That's a big trade, but I don't think he helps them that much. I think who's he going to start over?
Baby. Little breaking news here. Cubs Red Sox have discussed an Anthony Rizzo trade as recently as the last 24 hours.
Saw that earlier.
Yeah, that's been going on.
That was 16 minutes ago.
Yeah, they've been talking about Rizzo for a while.
Well, I mean, he's a Boston prospect.
Yeah.
They need a first baseman.
Yeah.
Like Starling Marte and Jesus Luzardo, they got traded.
Them giving up Luzardo is kind of crazy.
Yeah, Miami.
He's young and he's talented, but that's
yep. And I saw earlier
crazy.
that the White Sox got Cesar Hernandez. So.
And you had the Brewers picking up Escobar too.
Yeah, the Brewers. I mean, yeah, that's my World Series pick. They're World Series caliber team as is. But Trevor Story and Max Scherzer, those are the two big ones that people are waiting on.
And KB.
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I don't know Scherzer's got like a fucking grocery list of teams.
There's like
Dodgers,
half the league.
Dodgers,
Half the
Padres, Red Sox, Rays, Jays, Mets, Astros. Like,
Nick, do you remember the game we used to play where we couldn't figure out what we wanted to play? So we put out all the PlayStation 2 games, and we would throw a coin and would like close our eyes and throw a coin, whichever it landed on, we would play. That's what you would have to do with Max Scherzer's teams.
Realistically,
like,
I don't even know where do the Mets try and get him to make up for DeGrom being out, and I really don't know if the Red Sox, Chris Sale's coming back. I would like to see them see that through first before they just bring in Max Scherzer, but
bring them both.
Yeah, you could bring them both. I mean,
that's if they get Scherzer.
The missing piece for the Red Sox is an ace right now.
Starting pitching.
Yeah.
You get Sale and you get Scherzer. That's a 1-2 punch in the playoffs. And my Red Sox pick, woohoo, baby! Looks like I'm going out to Boston this October because I'm celebrating a world championship.
Who is that? The guy who's been pitching lately.
Pivetta?
Sox. No. Tanner. He's fucking awesome. Tanner Houck. I don't know how to pronounce his last name.
It's Houck.
Houck. Yeah, he's doing really good. But yeah, I don't see the Red Sox getting Max Scherzer, even though that would be a pretty nice piece of the puzzle.
I mean, I think it's the Dodgers got to make a move on that because you don't know what's going to happen with Bauer throughout the whole process.
Zoink Scoobs.
Kershaw's been hurt all year. I think them getting Scherzer is probably a move that they're going to make.
Yeah,
probably a good call. Trevor Story.
Yeah. These dudes are just both like they're talking to so many different teams.
So I'm going to make a wild prediction right now.
Here we go. I love it. Give it to me.
Trevor Story's not getting traded.
Whoa!
You don't think he goes at all?
I think the Rockies are asking too much. Like they want everything in your farm system for him. I don't think he's going to end up getting moved.
That's a hot
take. That's just my bold prediction. I don't think Story's going anywhere.
I think he does because I think some team will just be like, we'll give you this. The Rockies at the last minute will be like, okay.
You just think that, all right.
I mean, it's what these deals come down to. It's like fucking chicken. Who's going to break first? Like, they're just running towards each other, and whoever moves out of the way first loses the deal.
I don't know because they thought Story was a for sure thing, and now I've been reading there's a chance he's probably not going. I don't know. It's all over the place with him, and when stuff like that happens, it tends to not end up happening.
Fair. Yeah, your guy's got to be pissed. I'd be pissed.
I don't know if because I know he loves Colorado.
Oh well, is he gonna resign there though? Like, wouldn't you want to like?
See, that's the thing. I think he's a free agent after the year, so
he
can have the choice to go wherever.
Yeah, but like, don't you want to go chase a championship if you can? I don't know.
I think he'd rather finish his time out with Colorado and then leave. I think he seems like that kind of guy. And he's below.
So loser. Anyways, let's move on to a champion in Kris Bryant.
Yeah.
Is he going to your Angels that you have making the World Series, Morgan? Or excuse me, the AL championship?
He hasn't gone way further than they're gonna.
What a fucking absurd pick.
We'll see. They're getting hot. Ohtani hit another bomb last night.
Are they getting hot?
There's 8 other
Mike
positions
Trout's
on a
been
football
working
field.
out. Mike Trout's been working out with them.
Yeah, Trout's gonna come back mid-August, and they're gonna go on like a 30-15 run.
Getting hot to you, Morgan. They are on a 1-game winning streak.
Hey, it starts with 1.
You gotta start somewhere, baby.
They finally surpassed the cusp of being an above 500 team.
Congrats.
It's coming. It's coming.
Tip of the cap. Tip of the cap.
You know, they're just as hot right now as my pick, the Cleveland Indians. It starts with 1, guys.
Wow, I mean,
Believeland.
It's the
you mean the Guardians, correct?
Fuck you.
Fair enough.
Not the Guardians till 2022.
Fair enough. So yeah, before we move off this topic, KB, give me a team. We'll go around in 3. Go ahead, Nick. You go first. I'll give you the first pick.
Red Sox.
You think the Red Sox get Rizzo and KB?
No.
I don't see that.
Chris Bryant to the Red Sox.
Morgan?
I don't know. There's so many teams talking to them right now. I guess right now I'll say the Mets because it sounds like they're the front runners.
That's my pick.
But right now, I think the Mets are the leading candidate right now because they got prospects we want.
You scumbag. I was going to say the Mets too.
I mean, the Rays are the other team that might get them.
They're the only other team that's got a chance right now.
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the Mets, or the Rays maybe if they don't want to trade them in the division, but I don't think the
just go ahead and copy my picks. Jeez.
This guy.
This fucking guy.
Listen, you should have went first.
Hey,
we think the similar ways. You should have known better.
I won the debate. You didn't. Suck it.
Well, you still thought similar ways. Morgan at the end was giving your argument for you when he was rattling off stats of Johnson, thinking it was Smith.
Yeah, thanks, Morgan. Definitely think the same ways. I'm just giving you a hard time. Yeah, so that's baseball trade deadline talk for now. We're going to get into a new segment where we haven't touched on this sport yet.
Trade right-handed Ryan.
You got breaking news?
Just the Cubs made a trade to Para to the White Sox.
All right.
Nobody important.
So we're going to have a new segment. Our college basketball correspondent is going to be the big dog himself. With the NBA draft happening tonight, we do have mildly breaking news. As of like 20 minutes ago, Cade Cunningham is projected to go number 1 to the Pistons. And Woj tweeted out that Green will be going to the Rockets, and then the kid from USC, Mobley, to the Cavs.
Oh, they have Mobley going? No. Okay.
So, Morgan, I want you to give me the deal with these prospects since you pay attention to college basketball, and neither Nick and I don't.
I do love college basketball.
I want a couple sleepers in the draft that people should watch out for, like Donovan Mitchell, esque. That has that star potential.
I mean, his brother's in the draft, so.
There you have it. Go ahead,
so
Morgan.
I'll start with Cade Cunningham, Oklahoma State. Probably the best player in the draft. Very explosive player, great handles, great core vision. I see him somewhere, but he's a great defender. He's somewhere between like a Luka and a Drew Holiday.
That's the comp I heard is he's Luka Doncic but plays defense.
So that's kind of why I threw Drew Holiday. It's the same. I think he's somewhere in the middle of that meld. Something like that.
Do you think he's a lock to be a star? Do you think he'll be an all-star? If I had to put the all-stars at 1.5, because most guys will get 1. Do you think he goes over?
I think within 4 years he's an all-star.
Okay.
The number 2 pick, Jalen Green, went to the G League. Another very talented scorer. He can score in a lot of ways. He gets buckets, attacking the rim. He can shoot. He's a high flyer. He's somewhere between like a Bradley Beal, Zach LaVine kind of player. Mm-hmm. Very high volume shooter, high volume scorer. It's hard to say. I don't know if he's going to be that kind of guy though. But that's where his potential is. I think somewhere up by Beal.
I definitely think with the situation, if he goes to Houston and Houston they're tanking anyway, so they just tell him do whatever the fuck you want on the court. I think that'll help him in the long run.
Yeah, I mean, and right now, who's 2? Houston.
Yeah,
that's
Houston.
Gonna be a shit show. And he'll average a lot of points there because they ain't got nobody to score.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, like he'll be able to develop kind of like how Sexton did with Cleveland.
Yeah, and then Cleveland, I did not have Mobley going 3.
Really? Why not?
There's something about him. The USC guys never ever work out.
DeMar DeRozan.
Yeah, I guess, but he started in Toronto. It took him a while to develop. But like OJ Mayo was the next coming of.
Hey, don't just because OJ Mayo liked to do his drugs and got kicked out of the league. All right, don't leave OJ alone.
But I think Suggs is probably a better pick.
Interesting.
From Gonzaga.
Well, they already have Cleveland already has that backcourt with Garland and Sexton. So why would you?
Because I think he may grow. He's still young, but I mean he's a better defender than either of them.
Than Mobley?
I think so.
Dude, Mobley, from what I've heard, is like NBA ready defender now. Like that, he can do everything. Like he can do everything on a basketball court defensively. He's going to be like a major like pick and pop or pick and roll, like high flyer, like kind of do everything. I think Mobley. I'm higher on Mobley than you are.
You are. I'm not. I mean, he's still a good prospect, but
he's skinny.
I don't.
I think that's his one problem.
I think that's the problem because I don't think he's.
But
he doesn't have the NBA body. I think
he doesn't have it now. But like, it's hard to like go back and like look at Giannis, dude. Like when he came into the league at 18, like I don't give these guys shit for not like putting on muscle. Like I don't give it to the guys individually. I give it to the team strength and conditioning programs. It's like, how the fuck can you not get this guy to put on muscle? Like, it's more on them than it is on the guy. I personally think.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm higher on Suggs just because I think his core vision is better. But
you heard it here first. Morgan doesn't like the bigs. I got your back.
Yeah. So Suggs, he's like a better shooting Russell Westbrook. Same kind of vision, same athletic ability, just slightly better shooter.
Same athletic ability. What do you mean by that?
Explosive, finishing at the rim. Just how fast-paced he plays.
If this guy doesn't throw down a two-handed tomahawk dunk within his first 10 games and scream in somebody's face.
I don't know if he's got like I don't know if he's got the tenacity like Russell, but he's got the same skill set and same athleticism kind of thing.
I'll wait to see on that.
But that's who I would take at 3. But Cleveland depends on what they want to do. Couple sleepers to look at. Kai Jones from Texas is one of my sleepers. He's a sophomore out of Texas. He improved significantly on shooting and everything. He's going in his second year. It's definitely like a slasher kind of player. Very athletic, great rebounder. He's an effort player. See a lot of like PJ Tucker in him, just kind of being a dog and
another Texas alum.
Yeah. So I see a lot of PJ Tucker where he can shoot in the corner, get your rebounds, defend at a high level. So he's a guy to look out for. And it wouldn't be an NBA draft without a Duke player.
Oh,
Jalen Johnson could very well be a very big sleeper in this draft because if he doesn't leave college early, he's probably higher in the draft.
You mean the guy who quit on his team?
Quit. I think Coach K told him to not risk injury with his team.
Quit. So he quit on his team.
Nope. Coach K told him to sit out. It's coach's decision.
It was his decision.
Nope. It was definitely a coach's decision. Coach K wanted to protect his players like he always does.
Coach K is the worst, dude. He like yells at grandmothers about kids. Like kids' grandmothers, he yells at them. Like you're like, you think this guy's like the Messiah.
He is the Messiah.
Oh my God.
He's the greatest NBA coach of all time.
He should have more championships than he does.
The NCAA tournament is the hardest title to win in sports.
He should have more.
But Jalen Johnson, be on the lookout for that kid. He's a beast. It wouldn't be a draft if I didn't get a Duke player in there. Come on.
Unless he decides to just like, no, I don't
Yeah,
know.
maybe he'll get drafted the NBA and just be like, I'm done.
I'm all set.
Nah, he's gonna go to a good team because he's projected to go around like between 20 and 25. So that's gonna be a pretty decent team. Hey, maybe he'll go to the Warriors.
Don't you bring them into this?
Yeah.
The future 2022 NBA champs, the Golden State Warriors.
No fucking chance.
Eat shit, Morgan.
There's not a chance.
Moving on to the NFL, Aaron Rodgers is back with the Packers. He had a press conference yesterday. It was pretty candid about how he felt about things. Did you guys get a chance to watch it? And I'm going to ask Nick his feelings on this first.
I was going to say, ask me, because I know Morgan doesn't know anything about this situation.
Yeah, he's definitely not a Packers fan. You know,
just looking at him, I know he probably hasn't even heard that guy's name.
Dude, all this guy's been thinking about is how good Justin Fields is going to be for the Bears.
Yeah, he ripped the Packers on that. I liked his press conference. I was watching a little bit of it. I caught some of it. I don't know if I caught it after it happened or live. It said live on the screen, but who the fuck knows nowadays? But yeah, he was basically, they kept on asking him about why was things so
contentious
in the dark and stuff. And he basically, I believe his words was, he wasn't going to publicly have a pissing contest with his own franchise. So he kept things in the dark. I thought he handled the press conference really well. He was really well spoken.
Yeah, and, he always is.
Yeah, he just, that's a former Jeopardy host there. So, but yeah, I like the shit he had to say, and basically just about handling of people leaving and veterans and star players.
He kept it about as real as I've ever seen an NFL player keep it real regarding his own team. What he said is how I feel like what Tom Brady wanted to say every single press conference in New England. And Rodgers just said, like, I think that was part of his whole thing going to the Packers was, listen, I'm going to say how I feel. And, like, you guys are just going to have to get the fuck over it.
Brady could never, because I'm pretty sure Bill Belichick waterboards him with that cutoff hoodie.
Sure he does, too. Morgan's stone-faced down there. He's shocked right now. Can't even move from what I'm saying.
I think he's frozen.
He's frozen, yeah. I was making a joke.
Wow. Try to make it funny next time.
Yeah, fair. Yeah, he was like he brought up some old Packer great names, Charles Woodson, one of my personal favorite players of all time, John Kuhn. He brought him up and just how like the organization handled their departures. And he was like, it was shitty. They weren't even offered a contract to like stay. And it was interesting to hear him speak his mind regarding how everything's been in Green Bay, because honestly, for the majority of his time there, he has been a good soldier and hasn't said anything. But he's, coming to the end of the career, and at this point, he doesn't have anything to lose because he can just walk away and retire and not care.
Yep.
Morgan, the floor is yours.
Do you want to go get your cheese head for this?
Let me begin.
Nice.
So, sorry, Mom and Dad, this is going to get very ugly because I'm about to curse a lot. Because this fucking bullshit management that this fucking team has pissed me off. I told you guys so fucking long that it was more than the Jordan Love pick. It went way further back than that. It was always about his teammates. It wasn't about money. It never was. The way they treat their players when they leave, it's no wonder we don't get a goddamn free agent in this team. Ever. Guys, Peppers, Woodson, Nelson, Cobb. The list goes on. All-time great Packers not getting the exit they deserve is the most bullshit thing this franchise has done. I don't get it. No wonder Aaron Rodgers is pissed. For you not even to ask, like, hey, we're cutting Jordy, we're cutting Jake Kumaro, we're cutting your quarterback, the quarterback coach, Van Pelt. It's unreal. I don't understand. He is your greatest fucking player in franchise history. And the amount of disrespect you're showing to this guy who's carried the damn franchise for 12 years is ridiculous. I'm sick of it. I want Gutekunst gone. Mark Murphy, get him out. I'm done with it.
Morgan's sitting there. Cut him up!
I want him dead.
It's just so frustrating.
So
you're pissing off the best player we've had in this franchise. I don't understand what they're doing.
One of the best players you've had in the league.
This is the last year. He's not coming back. I don't care what they do this year. Bring it back. They could bring back Cobb. They could bring back all these guys. Rodgers is not going to be a Packer next year. Unless Gutekunst is out, he's not coming back. I don't care. They could go 19-0 and win the Super Bowl. He's not coming back.
What a send-off that would be for Rodgers.
So
yeah, that would be crazy.
Anything else that you want to get out of your system?
Oh, I mean, I could go on for hours, but I will not do that.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Any other major points you got brewing in that head that you want to say?
No, not really.
You don't feel any other ways about this? There's nothing else left in you?
I mean, I mean, other than the stupid ass Packers fans that I see online who are like, "Oh, he's not bigger than the team. He doesn't care about his teammates." That's all he ever cares about is goddamn. That's why he's there. He doesn't have any insurances that they're going to get rid of him. They're going to help him trade next year, or he's going to be a free agent next year. He is literally there for his teammates and the fans. Enjoy the last season with Rodgers, people.
Enjoy it.
Are you excited to hear this story all year long?
No, I'm not. I know I'm going to hear it all year. It's going to be a mess. It's going to be so annoying every week. Oh, how's the relationship with Gutekunst this week? Oh, you marked good this week? It's going to be just an overbearing thing all season. It's going to be obnoxious.
What do the Packers finish this year?
I don't know.
17 games now. So, come on. I want a record.
I don't know. I don't think they're the win of the division.
That's what I was looking for.
I still think they're going to be all right, but I don't see them winning the division. I think there's just so much going on in this franchise that I don't see it.
He goes, "That's what I was looking for. The sheer face of no hope."
Yep, that's it. That's exactly what I was looking for.
Well, it's going to go one of two ways. We're going to go like 14 or 15-2 or 14-3, and we get to the Super Bowl or the NFC Championship and lose in some agonizing defeat.
Morgan, that never happens to you.
It exclusively happens.
Or it's going to go the other way, and we're going to go like 9-8 and get hot at the end of the season and win a Super Bowl. That's probably the only other option.
That makes sense.
Or the latter.
Yeah. That's how I see the season playing out. I don't know.
Fair enough.
It'll be interesting.
Keeping up with the Wisconsinians.
Is that what they're called?
I don't fucking know.
Wisconsinians.
Wisconsinites.
You guys are both stupid.
It's Wisconsinites. Like, you guys are dumb.
It's cheeseheads. Moving on. COVID-19 has officially taken over the new NFL line, where we're having these players in press conferences being asked the question, "Did you get vaccinated?" And Dak says it's HIPAA, which is absurdly hilarious to me. And then you also have Carson Wentz saying that he does not want to talk about his decision to vaccinate or not. What I think this is I think it's these dudes just covering their ass because they know their bread and butter is with people that don't want to get vaccinated, and all their endorsement deals are with them. So that's why they're not saying. But obviously, you think Jerry Jones is going to let a star quarterback not be vaccinated? No, he's not. Any of these guys, like, it's been listed out in the NFL, like, if you're not vaccinated, like you were saying before we started recording, if you're vaccinated on the Buccaneers, you have a red wristband. And if you're not, you have a yellow one. Like, it's easy for the media to tell who's vaccinated and who's not vaccinated then. So I don't get why these guys just don't talk about it.
That's weird to have them wear some sort of an identifier.
Well, it's a shame. It's a shaming device.
It's really strange, though.
It's shaming.
I know what it is. It's really weird.
It's
weird to do this to adults.
It's not, because these dudes don't want to get vaccinated, and at this point, if they don't get vaccinated and they cause an outbreak on their team, then they have to forfeit games. Do you think NFL teams want to lose having 80,000 people in the stands and losing a game in the division? No. That's literally millions of dollars down the drain for them. So they're telling these fucking people, get the fucking line.
I get why they're doing it, and I'm on their side because they are a private business and they can, they can set their own standards. I think the shaming thing is weird. I think it's strange.
All right, Morgan, what are your feelings on it?
I'm so over COVID. I'm just tired of caring. I side with Michael Irvin.
That you're a bad teammate if you don't get the vaccine.
You don't want it enough if you don't want to get the vaccine.
I love that mentality.
You
don't want it enough if you ain't willing to get vaccinated now. My Michael Irvin impression.
Spot on.
I'm done with COVID's done to me. I don't care.
When you go out there and you have to do different drills than your other teammates because you refuse to get vaccinated, you're a bad teammate. Probably an awful impression. He's gonna hear this one day, maybe. Probably not, but if he hears this one day, he's gonna hate me. Hopefully. Michael Irving, I love you.
Think positive. Not COVID positive, but
nice.
Michael, anytime.
Michael, can you show me what the cocaine cowboys were all about?
That's a drill I'd like to do with him.
Definitely want to be running down that white sideline with him, you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's that drill called? Run some rails.
Line up on the white lines, boys.
Everybody to the line.
Heads of the locker room, they're like, Michael, where are you going?
You meant the football
those ones.
Oh, my bad. No.
I had my priorities wrong. I usually do that one before that one, though, just in my defense.
Morgan's dad's going to be disgusted that we talked about a cowboy on this program for more than 3 seconds.
Hey, this is not COVID related or football related, but some breaking news as we're sitting here recording this on a Thursday at 3:13 p.m. the 29th. Joey Votto has broken the Cincinnati Reds franchise of home run streaks in a game. He's at 6 as of today.
Wow. Did he hit another one on my goddamn Cubs?
Sure did.
Son of a bitch, man.
Morgan, your Cubs are dead, dude.
They're done.
I mean, I still watch them.
And not even Javier Baez's shit walk-off will dig him out.
Here we go. We got into this topic really quick. We're talking about Javi Baez's walk-off against Amir Garrett. Nick has a take on Javi, and Morgan and I feel differently about it. So, Nick, why don't you sit there and spew your bullshit take, and Morgan and I will defend the great Javi Baez.
Is this the first in our new segment, Trash Takes?
This is it, Trash Takes.
I think over time might just become Stash Takes, because you guys never heard.
This is about to be by far the worst take on this podcast.
The worst take, really? Really? Not that Giannis Antetokounmpo isn't fucking good?
Yeah,
it's baseball season. I don't know what you're talking about. Basketball's over.
The NBA draft is literally tonight. The offseason has already begun. Giannis is the champion.
Irrelevant.
Second greatest power forward of all time.
Not going to be the worst take on this podcast.
Objection.
By far. Yeah.
Overruled.
So Javier Baez.
Sustained.
Javier Baez hits a routine 365-foot flyout into fucking center field, and he gets a walk-off.
Flyout? You can't use the word flyout.
It would have been a flyout.
Was it?
It wasn't.
It wasn't routine. He didn't catch the ball. Not routine.
It should have been. It was a routine pop fly.
I don't think it was. That Wrigley wind. It's different.
That thing did not go over 370. He acted like he hit that thing out of the fucking park.
Or you just goes that Wrigley wind.
What Wrigley wind?
Wiggly field?
Wrigley wind.
Wrigley wind. Oh,
why? Because it's the Windy City?
Do you know how much wind is in that stadium?
That's not why they call it the Windy City.
What, because of the wind off Lake Michigan? That is
no, it's
definitely
not
why.
The Windy City. No, it's because back in the day, politicians were blabbermouths, and they used to call them windy when they would talk. It was the Windy City because they talk so much politics.
All right, go on.
Anyway,
your take.
It was a shit walk-off. And he acted like a
thing.
fucking asshole. He threw the bat at the pitcher. He looked like an asshole. I'm sorry. I know there's a history between them, but he just looked so unlikable.
Morgan, what's Javi's nickname?
El Mago?
That's what it was right there. That's magic, Nick. That's what Javi made happen right there. Also, he did this against a guy, the ball's on Javi Biles. He did this against a guy, Amir Garrett, who literally went to fight the entire team's pirate, like the entire roster of the Pittsburgh Pirates.
It's true.
I mean, granted, he's going to fight Little League kids because that's what they are. They're a Little League team. But still, he's willing to take on that many 12-year-olds. Pretty impressive.
I don't know, man. Well, I mean, I get it. They had a history. He had a walk-off. Walk-offs are cool. But, like, dude, you're fucking almost 9 games in back of the division, and it didn't even leave the park.
Morgan?
I think when he started celebrating, he thought it was going to be a fucking home run, and then it wasn't, and he had to fucking sell it like he was fucking celebrating anyway.
Go ahead, Morgan.
So, I think anytime you know you're hitting a walk-off, whether it's a hit, a single, a bunt, you can celebrate however the fuck you want.
By not even moving towards first base?
He did. It took him 16 seconds to get to first base.
Dude, the guy from Up would have beat him to first base. He was walking so fucking slow.
Okay. Okay, so if Tatis does this, you love Tatis.
First of all, if Tatis does this, it's going into the crowd. It's not staying in the field. Tatis is hitting it out.
I mean, I think Morgan has a great point. If it's not Javi Biles doing it, I think there's nothing to be said about it.
Well, Javi is an unlikable dude.
How is he unlikable?
I don't like him.
Why? Because he's
wrong.
I don't know, dude. He looked like a dick. And he threw the bat. I don't know. I don't know. It wasn't a good look for him.
So you're not a fan of bat flips?
Yeah.
No. Hey, I didn't say I'm not a fan of bat flips. He threw the bat at the pitcher.
It's a bat flip.
Mike Piazza did that once too. Who cares?
That was a different time.
Aren't you the guy who wants the players to be more like themselves?
Yeah. Like, this is it.
Yeah. Okay. Do I want the players to just come out and just start throwing bats at pitchers?
Yeah.
Not
Listen,
really.
because here's the thing: if Amir Garrett
Then he
strikes
sits
him
out the next game for heel.
He's been battling an injury all season.
The game after a walk-off, you don't think he was a little nervous that he was going to get hit in the fucking head?
Listen,
Javi don't.
Morgan cut out right here, but I'm going to go in on what Morgan said. If Amir Garrett strikes him out right there and wins the game, he's talking shit the entire way to the dugout to celebrate it. He is.
Yeah.
They have a history.
He's not going to throw his glove at him.
You don't know that because it didn't happen. And you want to know what? Who cares Javi sat out? Who cares? Like, here's the thing. This is what's missing from baseball. You hit a walk-off, you talk shit, you bat flip, you're supposed to get fucking plunked. That's
and then
the
show
game.
up the next fucking game, man.
Correct. But, like, who cares?
I do. I do.
I do. I do.
I do.
It's
a bad take, Nick.
This is what baseball needs, though.
It was a way more extravagant walk-off than it was. Does that make sense?
And it's probably the Cubs' last game, one of the last games they'll ever play all together. Probably their last win they'll have all together because they're all going to get fucking traded and they stink.
Yeah, they do.
Well, yeah, I mean, at least he's accomplished and he can do whatever the fuck he wants.
Yeah, he's a champion.
He's a world champion.
World
He's
champion.
a champion. And I think in the text message, one of you guys said MVP, but that is not the case. He's never won an MVP.
Well, Morgan's frozen down there.
He's not.
I'm sure he was the Cubs MVP one year. So, are you there, Morgan, or are you silent?
No, I'm there now.
Fuck, man, get a better computer.
I don't know.
We're gonna set up a GoFundMe link for Morgan in the bio. If you guys could please donate like $1. If we get 30 of you to donate $1, we'll have $30. So that's a good start.
Yeah.
But I'm just kidding on the GoFundMe. That's for actual issues. But
you guys
got anything else?
I didn't like that walk-off. That's my take.
That's a bad take. Anyways.
Your take's wrong, so.
Yeah. Trash takes, segment 1.
You and Stephen A. Same category.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare.
Don't compare me to that fucking racist.
I think you're going to get called racist for calling Stephen A. a racist.
He literally told Shohei Ohtani he could be the face of baseball because he doesn't understand what the fuck he's saying.
Yeah, it's not good.
Come on.
You think he'd say that about Tatis? No.
No. He didn't say it about Tatis.
Correct. So we're on vacation this week. We'll be back next week. We don't know what episode we're doing yet. But if you guys could go follow our YouTube channel. We're trying to get some more subscribers on there. We created a new Facebook channel. We got Twitter. We got Instagram. If you guys have any ideas for debates or athletes, just throw it at us. One of us will respond. You know, where I definitely think we're all open to ideas, or if you guys want any segments to us talk about things in particular. I mean, for Christ's sakes, if you guys want us to like look up cricket stuff, we'll look up cricket numbers, okay? Don't make that face, Morgan.
I'm coming back.
I was just trying to think of if I know any cricket players.
I'm coming. Yeah, I do. Brian Wilson, former San Francisco Giant.
I knew there was one I knew.
Great reference.
Got him.
But you guys have anything else?
No, not with my computer like this.
I don't have anything else.
All right.
I'm going to go watch some baseball.
Well, I hope you guys have a great week. Nick, I will literally see you in 2 days.
Yeah.
We'll be kicking our feet up. Nick will be drinking beers. I won't be drinking beers, but we'll talk about that later. And I hope everybody has a great week this week.
He has a gluten allergy, guys. Calm down.
Are you pregnant, Matt? Do you want to announce that?
I am expecting.
Yeah, go with pregnant. It's a way better story.
I am expecting. You think next time we record, I should have like a fake pregnancy where I stand on my desk and like
spit a watermelon out,
drop a watermelon. I put butter on the watermelon.
Nice.
Babies come out slippery. It's a good touch. Office reference for people that didn't understand that.
Classic.
I'm sure Morgan can give me the episode and the moment that it happened.
It's Jan Levinson, so season 4. I'd have to think of the episode. No, season 5, episode 3.
Oh, really quick, I do have some hockey news.
No, we don't.
Alex Ovechkin,
There's been a few trades.
Alex Ovechkin signed a 5-year deal.
Cool.
And that's all the time we have for hockey. Have a great week, everybody.